I'm going to need NBA referees to stop committing basketball crimes against humanity because it's getting really fucking annoying at this point. I saw the Cam Whitmore dunk yesterday on Doug McDermott when the Rockets were playing the Spurs in their preseason game. And by the way, the league fucked up letting the Rockets somehow get Cam Whitmore at 20. I could not believe he fell that far just from the few times I seen him and seen highlights and all that stuff in college. But that's not the point. The point is these NBA referees, since the 2020 bubble season, the 2019-2020 season, have been calling what are clear poster dunks offensive fouls. And I don't understand it. It shouldn't be getting on my nerves as much as it is right now, but it's really been getting on my nerves. These feats of athleticism that, one, I'm just going to bring the fan part of it in first before I even talk about the actual charge rule itself and how I feel about it and what I think is a charge in these situations and what's a block. But from a fan perspective, they pay money to see these high-flying professional athletes, defy the laws of physics and dunk all over somebody. And sometimes the poster will be so bad that it really makes you scrunch up like, oh, that's disgusting. And it feels like the league has been trying to take away that since the 2020 bubble season. And it started, there was a poster dunk Jamal Murray had on DJ Wilson. It was like right before the NBA stoppage in the 2019-20 season, before the pandemic hit, or as the pandemic hit and before the league called off the season for a few months. But Jamal Murray got called for an offensive foul for dunking all over DJ Wilson, and they somehow called it an offensive foul, and it wasn't an offensive foul. DJ Wilson jumped into Jamal Murray's airspace as he was taking off. Not only that, Wilson wasn't standing straight up, and he kind of ducked, and Murray dunked on him, and because of the body contact, Wilson moved. That's not an offensive foul or a charge. You're just really stretching the rules of that and stretching the gray area of what is a block and a charge. So you mean to tell me all the legendary poster dunks we have seen over the years, most of them, where like let's do the Scottie Pippen Patrick Ewing dunk, for example. So you mean to tell me that would have been called an offensive foul today? These NBA refs need to get their head out of their ass. I'm sorry. It feels like reffing has gotten worse in all the professional leagues over the last few years, and I think a part of it is the older guard is still retiring out, moving on, and we're getting inexperienced refs, but that wasn't an offensive foul, the Jamal Murray dunk on DJ Wilson, but the most notable one was when Anthony Edwards 2 seasons ago dunked all over Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent moved over late as Ant was taking off, and Ant dunked all over him, and they called it an offensive foul, and I just don't understand why. This is a basketball crime against humanity. There is no way on God's green earth that was an offensive foul. Ant is already taking off, and Gabe Vincent moves in late. He might have stood still as he was getting dunked all over by Ant, but just because he stood still after he moved over late doesn't mean that he was in position and doesn't mean that he took it in the chest. Well, he did take it all over his body because Ant absolutely destroyed him, but that's not an offensive foul. This is why Giannis got hurt last year in that Miami Heat series, and people, one, I disagree with the banning the whole charge movement, but after that, the league literally gave out a definition of what a charge is. And this was according to Sports Illustrated when league officials explained it to him. When a defender establishes himself in the path of an offensive player prior to contact occurring and before the offensive player shoots the ball. I'm sorry, you're going for a dunk, you're jumping in the air before the guy gets to, the spot. I'm sorry, the offensive player has entitlement to that space. It's ridiculous that refs have been calling these an offensive foul. And it wasn't just Anthony Edwards, it's been a slew of them since the Anthony Edwards incident, which is why I feel like the league has I don't know if they have a mandate or something, but last season there was Aaron Gordon dunking all over Landry Shamet when the Nuggets played the Phoenix Suns in that overtime game, and Shamet was clearly moving, anyway. So either way, it was a block, even if it was a normal shot. But either way, Aaron Gordon was already taking off, and Shamet was late to the spot. And not only that, he was still moving, and he didn't even like completely take the dunk on head on. He was already kind of falling back, trying to, embellish the contact. And the refs fell for it and took away what was a massive play in the game. And not only that, a badass moment in the game on a completely obvious block. Should have been an and one, but for some reason now, if someone gets dunked on too hard where the defender's body flies across the floor after contact, the refs think that's an offensive foul. And the same thing happened with Alperen Şengün when he dunked on Zach Collins last year. It's just, can we get our shit together, refs? Can we stop taking away the poster dunk? Are you telling me that Dwayne Wade's dunk on Anderson Varejao, one of the nastiest dunks I had ever witnessed watching a game live on TV, was an offensive foul? You mean to tell me that Kobe Bryant's dunk all over Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard moved back slightly after getting it crammed all over him, was an offensive foul on Kobe Bryant? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? I don't get it. I don't know why the refs have been calling more of these since the bubble season, but it needs to stop, because by the rule of the book, one, a lot of these are late, the defender is moving, but two, the charge block thing is moot anyway because the player's already taking off, and therefore he should be entitled to his space. It's a dunk shot. How do you start a dunk shot? You jump in the air and you cock it back, and you're about to fire it through. That's the shooting motion of a dunk. Why are we doing this? I do not get it. If the defender wants to stop the dunk, they can go up and risk being dunked on by trying to block the dunk. But now players are getting rewarded for sliding under, and one, some of these could result in injury, but two, if you slide over and get caught on a nasty poster dunk, that's on the defender. I'm sorry. The refs are just... Sorry, that was a little side rant. I just wanted to make a video about that because this is really annoying, and we're taking away some really, really crazy-ass poster dunks that we have seen over the last few years, and it just ruins the highlight. Yeah, there are highlights of it on YouTube and stuff, but, I mean, the highlight kind of loses its bite when you know the play doesn't count, doesn't it?